Hello everybody, welcome back to day 2 of the Not Too Shabby series this week. Today I am using Spa Day, which is absolutely adorable with these 4 little cuties relaxing at the spa. So I wanted to use as many of these images as I could for my card today, and I thought it would be a good opportunity to do some different colored skin tones. So I'm going to be coloring up this image with some darker skin tones. I'm using E27, E25, and E23. I love the nice chocolate brown color that this combination gives. So I'm just going to blend that out with the lightest color. I started with the darkest, which is the E27, and then my mid-tone E25, and now I'm using the E23. For the image in the center, I'm using a light but a little bit more of a caramel skin tone. So I'm using E23, which was the lightest color that I used for the first image, E11 and E00. There's not a lot of skin exposed on her face because most of it is covered up by the mask. I do end up going back and darkening up her skin color just a little bit because I thought it was a little bit too light once I got the fairest skin image done, which is this one here. So I'm using E13, E11, and E00. I think you would have been able to see more of a difference in the colors of skin tones if their faces hadn't been so covered up with the face masks. Because even though I'm using the E00 here, which is very, very light, there's not enough of it exposed to really get that difference. So here's where I come back and darken her up a little bit, just to give her a really pretty, what I call a caramel kind of skin tone. So I love the way that these 3 girls are all diverse in terms of their skin colors. For the facial masks, I thought I would give them an avocado face mask. So I'm using my greens. I'm using YG25, YG03, and YG01 here. I do come back later on and do the hair curlers in the martini glass in the 3rd girl with that same green color palette because I felt like I needed to balance out the green in that image. For their house coats, I'm giving them all the same color, so kind of like they are at the same spa and are given a house coat to wear while they are having their different services done. So I'm only going to show you the coloring of one of these. I'm using R85, R83, and R81. For the towels on their heads, I'm going to color those white. So I'm using my cool grays here just to bring in some shadows, laying that darkest color C3 where the towel is folded over, blending that out with the C1, and then going in with the C00 marker. For this image's hair, I'm using E49, E47, and E00. Trying to do a little bit of a curling technique. I'm kind of doing some C swirls here just so it looks like her hair is a bit curly in those little curling rods, whatever you call those in her hair. Curling rollers? Rollers, I think is what they're called. Now when I brought the E00, it was way too light, so I just kind of held my breath with this color combination. I'd never used it before, and so I did not like the E00 at all, so I'm bringing in the E34. That was much better for a light tone, but then I'm going to go back in with the E47 here, and I like the way that looks. For this image, I am using E33 and E53 is a light brown color. It looks a little bit more yellowish than brown. And then for this one, I'm using Y17, Y15, and then I brought in a bit of E33 to make her like a dirty blonde hair color. So here's where I'm bringing in the green. I thought this really balanced out the three of them nicely so that she had some matching green. So once I get that colored up, I'm going to move on to the bubbles. I'm just using a BG11 and I'm not using that on all the bubbles. I'm just kind of sprinkling it over. Kind of give it to give it a transparent look. I added some red for their fingernails, toenails, the cup for the drink for the image in the center, and the book for the image that I'm working on right now. For the chairs, I wanted them to sort of look like leather. I was thinking like black leather or dark gray leather. So I'm using C7, C5, and C3. I wanted something neutral for the chairs so that the images really stood out. I do like the way this ended up looking in the end. I'm also going to use the same C markers for the little foot bath here. I'm not using the C7 though. I think I only used the C3 and the C1. And then I'm going to go in and do her little stool as well here with the C7, the C5, and then the C3. Just doing some little pieces that I forgot. I'm bringing in the Daydreamer Dear Lizzie pattern paper again for the wood grain, which is the same as I used in the card yesterday. And then I'm using some glitter cardstock with an old paper pad that I had in my stash as well. Trying to use up as much as I can this year. It's one of my crafty goals. So I grabbed out the Hickory Smoke Distress Oxide and I'm using my blending beauty brush here. All products will be listed below in case you want more details about the things that I'm using in this video. But if you have any questions, don't hesitate to leave them down in the the comment area. So I just did a very light blending of that gray. And then I used my Shimmer Spritz here to make it really shiny. I wanted it to look like they were in front of just a painted wall, but I didn't want to leave it stark white, so I did the faint gray. You can notice it a little bit, but it is definitely different than the white card base, which was what I was going for. So I'm using this Cloudy Border die by Pink and Main. This die I absolutely love. I wanted to have the wood grain paper, but I didn't want the white pluses that were on it. So I just trimmed that down to be as thick as I could where I could still hide those little plus signs, and it gave me my wood floor, which was exactly what I wanted. So again, another clean and simple card. I mean, that's pretty much what I do. So if you're still with me, you must like clean and simple cards as well, because they are definitely my favorite and my style. So here I'm just adhering the frame to the white piece of cardstock, and then I'm going to adhere that panel right down onto my card base. So this is an A2 size card at 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I'm going to lay out my little images here. I wanted to make sure that on both the right and the left hand side there was one of the girls with the towels on their heads, again just to balance out the images. And then I had our sweet little girl with her martini in her hand in the middle. Making this card really made me want to go to the spa with 2 of my girlfriends and get pampered. It was a lot of fun. This would be a great stamp set if you know somebody who works in a spa or you want to give someone a spa gift card. It's absolutely adorable, or even just to celebrate friendship. I think it's so sweet. So to finish off the card, I'm bringing in my black glaze pen for their eyes. I'm actually also going to do some detailing on the chairs and the foot bath. Just thought this would bring some really stark black elements to the card. Just brighten it up with that pop of black a little bit. And then I'm going to come in with my Spectrum Noir glitter brush marker because these girls were just calling to be covered in glitter. So I'm going to add glitter to all of their house coats. It also just really picks up with the pink glitter cardstock that I used. So that's why I chose to do the glitter on the pink. For the bubbles, I'm just bringing some Nuvo Morning Dew drops in, and I'm not going over this completely. I'm just adding a few drops of it here and there to make it look like suds are floating up. And that's the card today. So I hope you're enjoying the series. Jamie is hoping to get the new website up and running shortly, so stay tuned for all of that, and stay tuned for another card tomorrow. Take care, everybody. Thanks for watching.